Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again. And this time we're going to look at a prototype, and I'm not really a fan of doing prototype games. I'd rather not. But this one has such notoriety behind it. It's so bad in some ways it's kind of good. And this one is called Tattoo Assassins. This was created by Data East's Pinball division in 1994, and it was created to compete directly with Mortal Kombat. And this game was also has its graphics traced from live actors, but it's really quite terrible. There's worse fighting games out there, but this really isn't good, and it definitely looks unfinished in parts. The idea behind it is kind of interesting. There's this magical ink that is used in tattoos for certain fighters, and so it's only compatible with those of a certain genetic makeup. People that weren't compatible got mutated or killed or whatever, but you get to choose from 9 different fighters. There are special moves for each character, and there's a special button that you can use that will execute a special attack so that you don't have to use the joystick and button combinations. You just press the one button and you'll use that. And you get to choose which special move that button will pertain to before you start your fight. And the main boss at the end of the game is Koldan. Although there's a few bosses that you face at the very end, and there's Deke, K, Prism, Rhina, and finally Koldan. And Lila Blue, I guess, is some gal that is involved in the storyline, but she's not a character in the game that you can face or play as. But this game is very unfinished in certain ways. Like I said, this is a prototype. This was not given a full-fledged arcade release. There's gore in it. There's some nasty deaths, but there is one redeeming feature about this game. There are a ton, I mean a ton of different fatalities you can do, or finishing moves. And some of those are actually pretty funny. But this game is largely terrible. It requires 2 credits to start and to continue. But yeah, this was never given a full-fledged official arcade release. It shows that there's sort of a high scoring list, but it doesn't work. Like I said, there's so many things that are unfinished about this game. There's no doubt in my mind that there was hard work put into the game, but it's just not very well done. A lot of internal strife. Unreasonable deadlines in terms of getting the game out in time contributed to the game's non-release. But yeah, there's 9 different fighters: Tak Kata, Billy 2 Moons, Luke Cord, Maya, AC Current, Hannah Hart, Carla Keller, Truck. I can't remember all the names, and Derek O'Toole. I'm going to choose Maya, and that's my dog's name. That's why I'm going to choose Maya. But she's like this jungle gal. She has the one special move that I chose to use as my special button, and that's her blow dart attack. She has a blowgun. The sound cuts out during gameplay here and there. You know, the movements aren't really any more fluid than in Mortal Kombat, which came out 2 years before this game. But at the end of the second round, that's one of her attacks. At the end of the second round, once you drain the opponent of all their energy, you have the opportunity to do a fatality. And she has like a tiger claw and a tiger pounce and an animality and a morphality. And the morphality lets you change them into certain things. No mercy. Tiger paw slices him. Tattooed. But yeah, you got a long road to go before you get to the 4 final bosses. And that short bald guy, I guess, is the creator of the ink. And now we're gonna face Billy Two Moons, a Native American character. But yeah, the game, you can beat it all on in 1 credit. The computer opponent does not seem to block. And you can do jump kicks over and over and over. They'll get you sometimes, but that's the best means of beating the opponent, is just doing jump kicks. And she has a great jump kick at her disposal. She can do a quick jump kick just by pushing up, forward, and the kick button. There is like a low kick, a high kick, a low punch, a high punch, and a block button. And that was one of her other fatalities. There are over 1,000 different finishing moves. I'm not kidding. Some of them are downright hilarious. Some of them are gross, some of them are weird, some of them are silly. But that's the strong point of the game. But yeah, again, before the first fight, you get to assign one of your moves to just your special button. And you can press that button and you'll automatically execute that move. But that will be your special button move for the rest of the game. You can't change to a different move to assign to that one button in later fights. But yeah, just keep jump kicking the opponent. They won't seem to want to block. And I morphed him into a robot. But yeah, the fighters are Tech Kata, Billy Two Moons, the Native American Indian. There's Luke Cord, Maya, the jungle gal, AC Current, which is a guy that has electricity, Hannah Hart, Carla Keller, and that, I guess, is a spoof of Nancy Kerrigan, because she's a skater. Truck Davis, I think it is. And Derek O'Toole. And again, you can assign one of your special moves to the special button before the first fight. And it says choose a morph tattoo. And I didn't mean to accidentally knock him over. I would have done a killing move. But there are other finishing moves that I didn't know about that Maya can do. But just keep trying to jump kick your opponent, and for the most part you'll be able to hit him with it. But again, you do have a block button, and they can block too. This game is just so unfinished looking, and it's really not very good. And again, this is that move is kind of cool to take enemies out that are trying to jump on you, and it is called a claw attack. You press down 3 times and low kick. Many of the fatalities you can unlock on your own. They're are very easy moves to make. And that time I turned her into like a geisha or something. But a number of the fatalities can just be very simple button presses or joystick moves. Like maybe you left 3 times or something, and you'll do a certain fatality attack, perhaps. And this is Luke Cord, and he looks like he's supposed to be Jax from the Mortal Kombat games. But yeah, this was designed to compete with Mortal Kombat, but it was just not finished. And you can tell it's kind of unfinished looking in parts, and the sound cuts out here and there. This was suggested by YouTube user Commander QUUHOD. Well, he's now known as QUUHOD. The Commander QUUHOD was a character from an old cheesy sci-fi horror movie called Galaxy of Terror from the early 80s. Not particularly good, I remember it. Produced by Roger Corman. Oh, damn it. Yeah, there's no scoring in this game. And I morphed him into, I think it was a seal. It was hard to tell. We'll look at some of the more interesting fatalities later on. Here's the Nancy Kerrigan character. There, you can shoot fireballs, and she and what's her name, Clara Keller or something, Carla Keller. She can do a M. Bison like a psycho charge or whatever it's called. But this is not a very good game. There's no doubt about it. Very unfinished looking and sounding, what with the music or sound cutting out at times. But yeah, there's some interesting background stuff about this game that you can read up on it on the internet. Ah, dang it. Just being knocked on her butt, she just bleeds profusely. But yeah, there was an article I read about how unfair the demands were on the programmers to finish the game in time, and they were promised a lot of money, and it didn't happen, and they had to work overtime, and yeah, kind of interesting read, but all for naught because the game was not completed. And now I gotta face my doppelganger. Yeah, I didn't know what character would be best, so I just went with Maya, because that's my dog's name. It's not spelled M-A-Y-A, it's M-Y-A, and I didn't pick that name. But yeah, you can just keep jump kicking the opponent over and over, and more often than not, you will connect. Because the opponent just does not want to seem to block the computer opponent. You know, once in a while, they'll do a move to hit you out of the air, and yeah, you can. With each character, you can assign one of your special moves to one particular button, the special button. And that's where it says choose a morph tattoo. And I turned her into, I don't know if that's a geisha or a model or whatever that is. But yeah, we'll look at some of the more interesting fatalities later on. There are also nudalities, where you can make the character appear without clothes, although you don't see actual nudity. They cover themselves up. and shriek. But that is certainly the best thing about this game, is the plethora of fatalities or finishing moves. And there I'm gonna the tiger rips his head off. But now I start the boss list, and I face Rhina at first. It's just this big Amazonian gal with a rhinoceros horn, I guess, and she tries to charge at you. Just keep doing the jump kicks if you can. Yeah, you can do chains, you can do moves that take multiple hits on them. But yeah, Maya can do a regular jump kick, and she can do a quick jumping kick. Those are both very effective. Now we face Deke K, and he's a zombie, a decaying zombie, and he's very fast. Very, very, very fast, but keep trying to do the jump kick. That's really the way to go in this game. But yeah, other than this one, I don't really want to do prototype games. I'm only doing this one because of its notoriety, the issues that the game had, and yeah, people might say that it's the worst fighting game ever, but no, I've definitely seen worse, and this one wasn't even finished. Hey, damn it. There we go. And now we face Prism. And it's like a creature made out of glass or ice or something. Excuse me. Yeah, this is not a good game. Not a good fighting game by any means, but like I said, it is not the worst. I have played worse. Alright. And now we're going to face the final boss, QUUHOD. He's got like needles for claws. Looks perhaps intimidating, but just keep doing the jump kicks. I was mighty surprised I was able to play it through no problem, just because of all the jump kicking that's so effective. And that is that. Interesting newspaper headline here. Litterbox Today. It tells about how you're trying to protect the jungle or your island. And there's a tiger that mauls all the developers that try to destroy it. Very silly. And now we'll see the credits. And the actors that... the live actors that got their digital capture for the characters. And there's the Nancy Kerrigan gal, whatever her name was, Carla Keller.
I thought you could fight.
And that goofy character is something that one of the characters can be morphed into with a fatality move. Well, that was Tattoo Assassins by Data East Pinball in 1994. Not completed, not officially completed. Prototype, but yeah, not very good. Look at that. Over 2,000 fatalities you can do. And we're going to look at some of them. He morphs the guy into a squirrel. And she gets morphed into a polar bear. He gets morphed into a seal. I think I did that. And then he gets morphed into a pig. Morphed into a giant tortoise. And there's a nudality on a guy. A nudality on a girl. And he gets zapped to death. And there's sometimes a text for a fatality. Black Widow bites him.
I thought you could fight.
And she gets eaten by a killer plant. Gets her head bit off. Just some weird fatalities. He gets squished by an octopus. What? I don't get that one. Just interesting fatalities. That is the best part of the game. What? Okay, I don't get that, but whatever. She gets killer eagle poop dropped on her. What? He turns into a hot dog. She gets farted on. Gets a bowling ball dropped on him. Godzilla foot stomps on her. And she gets a ship dropped on her. And there's the character we saw earlier. Strange fatalities. Gets turned into Whistler's mother. Those are the best parts of the game, the fatalities. Burger Time reference, that's awesome. Gets a lipstick drawn on his face. Well, that was Tattoo Assassin's prototype by Daddy East Pinball in 1994. Well, this is Crazy Clamor saying thanks for watching Tattoo Assassins by Daddy East Pinball in 1994. I'll catch you later with another video. Y'all have a good one, everybody, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.